At the end of my shift, I end up calling a ride share and I go outside, and as soon as I get in the car, I pass out. I'm exhausted. And the next thing I know, I'm being, woken by the driver saying, we've arrived.
So, Mr. Miller, how long have you lived in this community?
I've been in the community almost 10 years, Your Honor, and it has been a quiet community up until the night when this woman invaded the sanctity of my home.
Oh, outrageous.
What do you remember about this night?
I was home, I was watching Westerns. They remind me of a time when people took personal responsibility for their own actions.
Oh, please.
Yes, sir. All right. So, Miss Patch, tell me, how did you're awakened by the driver in the car, then what happens?
I get out of the car, I am half asleep. I mean, I am, kind of stumbling up the driveway, but, my dad had told me, I'm gonna leave the back door open, just come on in, I'm gonna wait up for you. So, I walk in and I start calling for Dad. I'm like, Dad, I'm home, just wanna let you know. And all of a sudden, I see a silhouette of a man coming down the stairs, expecting it to be my father. And, I can hear him yelling, but doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why my dad would be yelling at me. I'm coming in, it's super early in the morning.
Okay.
And I get closer to him and realize that's not my father. And, before I could even react, this man, Mr. Miller, had cocked his gun and fired. And I cannot tell you, Your Honor, how scared to death I was for my own life. And here I am trying to save lives every day, and I'm scared for my own life at this point.
So you went into Mr. Miller's home thinking it was your dad's house?
Exactly, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this really shocked you.
I mean, when I say I was half asleep, I was full awake at this point after he cocked his gun and shot it at me.
Now, Mr. Miller, tell me what's going on. How did you know that night that something untoward was happening?
As I said, I was watching TV, I heard a noise, turned the TV down, and I could hear it clearly. Somebody was breaking into my back door. So I grabbed my gun.
The door was open.
It was open,
I
Mr.
grabbed
Miller.
my gun like anyone would to defend myself
Anyone?
and my property.
You keep your gun ready?
Exactly. That's why I have it. I'm a licensed gun owner, and so when I came down the steps, I see an intruder in my kitchen.
And you've got your gun in your hand at
I've
this
got
point.
my gun in my hand. I was yelling at her to stop. She kept moving towards me. I cocked the gun so she knew I was serious. I fired a warning shot out the back door.
But there were no lights on. What do you think was going to... How did you know it was not going to hit me in the head, Mr. Miller?
At that point, she turned around and ran. I heard a scream. I went out. She had fallen going down the steps, and she wasn't moving. I called 911.
Your Honor,
So, Ms. Patch, you run out the back door, and that's how you're hurt?
Yes.
Tell me
Your
how
Honor.
that happened.
So, like I said, I was shook to the core as soon as he had fired that shot, and I am running for the back door. I'm in full-on fight or flight mode, and it's pitch black dark. There are no lights on, and so I'm only going by memory of how I remember the back door being. And I run out the back door, trip over 2 of the steps, and end up landing on my left side and breaking my shoulder, my shoulder and my ankle bone.
Now, Mr. Miller, you said she broke into your house. What did she do?
I was in my own home. She came into my house. All I knew was that I thought I was in the middle of a home invasion.